Hey, welcome to the channel. I just wanted to put out a video on the new Project Scout I got a week ago. I kind of forced myself to put this video out. I've had it for a week now, and whenever I restored this Scout, I always wished that I had documented some of it on YouTube. So I've had it for a week, so I'm just going to force myself to do this in one take and hopefully cover everything. Picked this up about 3.5 hours away from a guy I knew from Nationals, and drove it home. It's pretty relatively uneventful drive home, fortunately, as I'll cover. But included a really nice fender. The fender that was on there was dented and kind of cut up, so I put that on last night. Okay, fender's off. Inner fender actually looks pretty good, just dirty. Some mud laying in there, but so far it looks okay. Nice little mouse nest. And all right, my battery died in there somewhere, but fender's off. Looks pretty decent under here. It's obviously filthy. Got a bucket full of dirt that was all shoved in here. Some mouse nest and other things, but looks pretty good. There's been some repairs, but the inner fenders, at least this part of it, looks really good. Some cleanup, little stuff. I'm not going to worry about it now. At least I know what condition that stuff's in, and then you know, my plan is to get the whole truck kind of the major things taken care of, and then, you know, a year or two from now, come back and take it all apart and paint and make it right. So we'll see. Whenever I picked it up, it didn't have a side mirror, but I had a set of side mirrors that I didn't use on this Scout. So I took them with me and was able to throw that on. Still got to pop the rear view mirror up there. I did take off the fender flares, tossed them in here. There were some fender flares on here. They were kind of cracked, and I figured they were hiding some, you know, something there. But aside from that quarter, the rest of the body's not too terrible. There's just lines in the, you know, I think he just fogged the whole thing black, but there's just lines in the paint there from where those fender flares were. But this stuff's pretty solid. I know this is a newer quarter. The big work here is back here. This is actually pretty well hidden right now, but there's basically no bed, and quarters, everything kind of needs tidied up. This needs pushed in. I'm just starting to mark all the panels that need moved. But since I've had this, what have I done? Let me close this. See, does not close very nicely, but we'll get it. I just did some quick stuff like fog the bumper black, just to clean it up a little bit. Removed the stickers. He had a ton of stickers. I did put one back here. I love the duck slayer sticker. If you know anything about what's going on in Canonsburg right now, it's kind of funny because we have 9 giant ducks in town that are blown up on top of buildings. What else? The drive shaft. Let me get under here. So when I got it home, the U-joints were completely gone. Front doesn't look too bad initially. This one, not so good. So I pulled the drive shaft, put new U-joints in it, and that's nice and tight now. I got another set of U-joints for the front drive shaft, but I'm in no big hurry to do that. Just did some cleaning under here. Not a whole lot else. Bunch of lubrication, like the hood would hardly close. So I just went through and cleaned that up, lubricated it, and it's closing nicely now. Cleaned out in here, not a whole lot. Pulled like a CB and some, just trying to simplify some things. It's got a real nice dash pad, much nicer than I have in my Scout. And I've got to rehang this rear view mirror. It does have this bulkhead in it right now. That's going to stay for now. That door closes pretty decent. There's definitely some gaps and stuff that need cleaned up. I just fogged the grill black real quick. Sometimes it's just like doing little things like that just make you feel better about a project. There's a lot going on here. I did have this door off yesterday and I made it a little bit better. This gap gets a little wider at the bottom, which I think these hinges are just, I think the hinges are wore out, but there's shims here, which is part of why that gap is an issue. I've got another set of door hinges that I might just rebuild and swap them into here. And this door was having a real hard time closing before. Sorry about that. But it does close pretty decent, even though I know it sits low. The body mounts are pretty good though, so I think it's probably hinges. But yeah, there's a lot of work here. This quarter is in desperate need of replacement. So is the wheel well. Did I get everything? I lost my so the other thing that happened was I lost my turn signals pretty much, I don't know, the last couple miles before I got home. So I did go through and troubleshot that for a while. I swapped out the relay. I thought that it didn't seem like that worked, but all of a sudden it's working. I got a louder relay in there too, so I can hear it. That was something I didn't think about. But the way this dash is, there's no lights for turn signals like I'm used to, because it's all a custom dash. So my wife was behind me and told me that I didn't have turn signals at the end, which I did have when I left. So what else? Oh, the steering. So the steering was pretty sloppy, and I wasn't sure what it was for sure, if it was just the fact that it was lifted. It also had this cage on top, and that cage and the bars were pretty heavy, and that weight's pretty high up, so I pulled those off immediately because I also wanted to be able to get it under my porch pretty comfortably. But I found that right there, the steering joint, right as it goes into the steering box, had loosened up. So I might have found, I know I found part of the steering issue. Let's see if we can get you in there. You can see we've got the drag joint replacements in there, but if you look very close to the steering box, you can see all the play before the steering box. So I'm really glad I found that. Definitely should have checked that before I left, or should have stopped and checked things out, but yeah. So this is probably going to disappoint the previous owner, but this is an Aussie locker in it, and between the, I don't know if it's just between that maybe and the drive shaft, the U-joints going, it was pretty awful. The U-joints were definitely shot by the time I got to my road. So I bought a set of just spider gears, because this isn't really, I don't plan on doing any off-road really with this. It's just more of a fun truck, show truck, and I think I'm going to put those spider gears in for now, just to simplify it. I think as simple as I can get this right now, the better. And yeah, along with that, I stopped at a junkyard not too far away. I did pick up another dash. It's uncut, although it is needs a little bit of work, in case I want to move back to the original gauges. I might do that just because the wiring, and I like the original gauges. I don't hate that, but we'll see. So yeah, what's next? I'm gonna keep playing with the body panels. I'll probably put the open diff in the spider gears in the diff, and I want to fix this. There should be adjustments down here if I remember right. I should be able to get that swung in. The tailgate kind of needs adjusted too, so I think that'll fix this hatch, which isn't aligning very well either right now. So I think all of that will clean up. I feel pretty good about that. I put a new battery in it. The battery that was in it, I think, was an issue. I don't know if there is any parasitic draw. There might still be some, but I was having a lot of issues with that battery, and I've had a lot of issues with starting it, and I knew that from the previous owner. There was an issue there, but he's got the Hamilton fuel injection on it, and it runs really well. But sometimes it just doesn't want to start. The other issue I ran into was some surging, so not really on the way home, but I took it out for a spin afterward, and I had some surging, and that might be, I'm not an expert on this whatsoever, but that might be a dirty fuel filter. So I think that's probably going to be one of the next things I check. And then last, I was getting a ticking, like a lifter tick, pretty loud yesterday, and today it's gone. So I did an oil change. That oil was pretty dirty after the drive home, so I'm just going to keep an eye on that. I might pull those valve covers and see if I see any rocker, or see if I see anything loose in there. So yeah, that's about it. I'll do another video on this Scout. This is my 3-year COVID project. The body was completely shot on that whenever I got it. I took a lot of pictures, but I don't have a lot of video from whenever I did that, unfortunately. So, all right, that's it. Thanks, guys.